Mazumdar. Ruchi ma'am, if you can let me know. I hope sir is here.
Yes, I am here. Good evening to everybody. Good evening, Dr. Sharma. Good evening to all the esteemed teachers and principals.
Good evening, sir. Our second session today focuses on digital literacy and technology integration, an area increasingly vital as we navigate the digital age in education. This session will also be presided over by Dr. A.K. Sharma. Sir's valuable guidance will help us explore how integrating technology can enhance learning experiences and prepare students for the digital future. Let me now introduce you to our very esteemed speaker for this session, Dr. Sabyasachi Mazumdar. Dr. Mazumdar holds a PhD in marine science and has an illustrious career spanning nearly 3 decades as a PGT biology teacher at Kendra Vidyalaya Sangathan from 1995 to 2023. His dedication to education and his students earned him the prestigious National Teacher Award from the President of India. Dr. Mazumdar is a distinguished Fulbright Scholar and Genesis Fellow recognized internationally for his contributions to education. He has been honored with numerous awards, including the KV's Incentive Award in 2007, the KV's Innovation and Experimentation Award in 2010 and 2014, and the C.V. Raman Best Science Teacher Award from the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. Besides his teaching career, Dr. Mazumdar has served as a guest faculty member at various universities in West Bengal and has worked in coastal zone management for over 35 years. Currently, he is the Associate Director of Academics at the Adamas Group and serves as the President of GEIST Global, an international teachers organization. He is also a key resource person for NCERT and CBSE. Today, Dr. Mazumdar will be sharing his insights on digital literacy and technology integration, topics that are vital to modern education. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Mazumdar. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar, it's a privilege for me to be with this esteemed group of teachers and administrators of Bhavan's schools. And I owe greatly to my mentor, Dr. Anil Sharma, who is always a guiding light for guiding me in different aspects. And as sir has requested me, so I'm here for delivering, interacting with all of you for a learning session on digital integration in the current scenario. As you all know that since the inception of COVID-19, we teachers are mostly becoming friendly to accept the digital role of various digital technologies in education. If you can remember, during the early stages of 2000, during the March, April, May, June of the COVID year, inception 2020, we have seen that we are mostly at the receiving end, simply because majority of us were not very familiar with the digital technologies. And that has made it these things difficult because of this lockdown situation. We have to pave the way to reach the students in a different mode. And that has really give us an opportunity in disguise that how we can equip ourselves and reach ourselves in reaching our students in a digital mode. And now almost majority of us are quite equipped to deal with this digital part in our class, normal teaching learning in the classroom. Though, of course, after the initial onslaught, after the end of this COVID era, mostly, though there are sporadic COVIDs nowadays, but that mostly when the lockdowns are over, we are gradually coming back to offline. But friends, it's the need of the hour that we must not forget to upscale ourselves and learn the modern technologies and introduce this in our classroom teaching and other activities. Say, for example, we have a teacher body called GIST International Foundation, spanning over around 15 countries, of which India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Ukraine, Vietnam, Turkey are the major groups of teachers who are there. And during this lockdown period, you believe that when all the physical modes are over, we have this platform used for various webinars and various activities, including those days, celebration of days. As a virtual one, but really, really beneficial considering such a difficult time. You can realize that even during those COVID eras, we have at least 2 to 3 webinars on each month where teachers from different countries, students from different countries participate to maintain the continuity of the communication. Though the physical communication was a distant dream during that time, but we were communicated through this digital mode, and gradually we have learned a lot. And we have even have those things like, say, International Biodiversity Day, World Environment Day celebration from different countries. Different students and teachers took part, participated, and almost is as if they are participating in an offline mode. And gradually, we were habituated to that. And in this regard, various platforms, the Zoom or Google platforms, helped us a lot, and we gradually get involved in these such platforms and learned a lot how to use this platform in a difficult situation. That means the difficulties, the distress of this COVID-19 is a blessing in disguise for all of us in the teaching fraternity to learn a little bit, to expand a little bit, to get ourselves digitally familiar with those things. And with the advent of this artificial intelligence, these things are nowadays becoming more demanding. And we have seen that since 2022, how the scenario is also changing rapidly. So, friends, as we are now mostly back to the normal condition where we are familiar and we are better off within the physical classroom scenario, yet we must venture certain digital mode also, so as to continue the hard-earned accuracy what we have learned from the COVID period, because that hard time had given us the opportunity to expand ourselves beyond our normal condition, and thereby in a course of time we have learned a lot. And in the expansion of this artificial intelligence, we need to continue those things so that ultimately we are all in the digital in this digital era will be familiarized with all these things, and we can make necessary variation in our teaching learning. And in this mode, I may start with the concept of flipped classroom. As we have known that in the normal classroom scenario, we have a stereotype role to play as a teacher and as a learner. We as teacher used to, mostly we are on a lecture mode, enter the class with a stipulated time period of 35 to 45 minutes, usually, and use our chalk and talk method to deliver the lecture, often supplemented with PowerPoint presentations. And the students are at the receiving end. Some of them are active, some are passive learners, some remain in the oblivious. And this is by and large the scenario. And the present context demands something difficult, different, in which at least all the learners can be in their active mode, and this digital teaching learning can pave the way for that. If not possible, it is difficult. The high class strength and the huge load of the curriculum had made it difficult for each of us to continue with this digital mode in all the classes. Unfortunately, I have seen also the reverse. We all have seen this, that some of us are still habituated with playing PowerPoint presentation as the safest mode and completion of syllabus even before time without much activity. So these are the two different ends, and we need to balance this. And in that aspect, I believe this flipped classroom can be a very good one. To use flipped classroom in certain classes, because it's not possible to use all digital mode in every classes. But we can use to make a variation in our classroom teaching learning. And in that case, flipped classroom can be a really, really beneficial one. So in that case, flipping, what we meant to say is that mostly in the classroom, we are delivering lecture or we are involving in activities. But here, we will be flipping that scenario. And we may start with, if I may be allowed to share the presentation. Is it visible? Excuse me. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, thank you. So if that's the point, that is, we are making the individual learning space at our home, and rather use the classroom as a group learning space. That means we will be using our classroom for interactive learning, active learning, and students will come with some preconceived ideas. Those will be supplied by us in advance, so that they come with an idea and can expand their idea through interactive learning within the four wall of classroom. That's what we are considering as flipping of classroom, flip learning. So does not necessarily means that you are supplying them with certain out of the text material, and they have come with and they are coming in the classroom, and we are saying that they are in a flip learning condition. Rather, in a flip learning situation, we must have these following things in mind. That means we are providing. If you can just mute.
Sure, sir. Excuse me. Kindly check your microphones. They should be muted at all times so that there is no background sound. This is my humble request to all the participants. Sir, you may continue, please.
Okay. So in such a situation, that means we need to have instead of having a stereotype environment, our classroom must be a flexible one in which the students will be allowed to interact and reflect in an active mode through different activities, either through group work or through some other activities, so that a flexible space is created for creative learning. And as a teacher, as a mentor, we will just observe it and scaffold the things from outside. And in this condition, instead of just one way of lecturing, we can provide different ways to the students to learn the content and to demonstrate the mastery. Of course, back in my as a teacher, back in my mind is the role of each of these student. How are they? Whether they are bright learner, they are average learner, or they are a slow learner. Accordingly, it is my role as a teacher to form the group, to form the activity, to involve these students in these group activities. That's my role as a teacher. But at the end of the day, this will help to involve all the learners into their activity in these activities and beneficial to all of them. Number two is the learning culture. That means, as I know, that in a normal lecture method, teacher is this marshal, teacher is the brigadiers, teacher is the all in the class. But when we are talking of this flip learning, the role of the teacher is just a facilitator who is observing the whole things from outside and scaffold the activities as and when needed, as and when required. So this is indeed a student approach, a learner-centered approach, rather than a teacher-centered approach. The third one is the content. That is also very important, so that instead of giving this lecture or direct instruction, we are providing materials which will be helpful to get knowledge. And these material, some of them are given beforehand so that the students can learn it individually at the home and get some information at their own pace, at their own learning pace. And these materials, this can give them various types of opportunities in the platter. That means diversification of reading material, diversification of learning material, that can be given. And while we call them as a whole as asynchronized learning, and through this asynchronized learning material, they will gather information and can utilize this information within the classroom while they are in their various group activities in a synchronized mode. We'll be going through that in the next few slides. So the role of us as a teacher will be just like a professional educator who is scaffolding the developmental process, and I will be available as a teacher to all the students or the group of students in different groups as and when needed. And at the same time, I will be observing the whole things going on inside the class, different group activities or other activities. And my role will be to assess it through formative assessment techniques so that I can discuss with the students about this and give them instruction according to their way of learning. So that is my role as a professional educator. So I can give them various material to get themselves ready for the talk, for the particular chapter, for the particular topic. So I can send them various links. Say I am dealing with a particular topic. Is it visible? Excuse me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, it's visible.
Say I'm giving them to, I'm dealing with the pollution level in Delhi. Most of you are from Delhi, and air pollution, I know how badly you are suffering, like all other countries, cities, including many of the cities, including Kolkata, where from I. So I've given them to learning material from a very important and a prestigious journal, that's Lancet, where it has written about pollution and health aspect and ambient air pollution and daily mortality rate in different cities of India. So this is one way I am sending material to equip the learner beforehand. Likewise, I can give some videos, other reading material. I've shown here some of the materials that can be given to them, and that will be their individual learning material at home. Say, for example, yes.
Um, um, is Sir there, still there, or have you lost connect with him?
No, I'm still there.
Yeah,
Wait for a minute.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Is it visible? No.
Yes, sir.
This is a highway in
Is it
India,
visible,
near
this
Delhi.
pollution, Delhi pollution?
No,
The
sir.
smog here
No.
was so
Okay,
thick,
That's not
drivers
visible.
couldn't
The
see
video,
what
I guess some video is playing, but it's not visible.
Okay, okay. Just a minute. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. It is.
At least 24 vehicles were damaged as drivers kept crashing into the pileup. These conditions happen every year when Delhi experiences a huge spike in air pollution.
Are we breathing poison in Delhi? Every 2 minutes, one person dies due to air pollution in this country.
I get nauseous, I get dizzy.
हॉस्पिटल या फैमिली डॉक्टर के पास जाके दिखाना पड़ता है.
When it hits, the nearly 30 million people here are forced to live in a toxic cloud. Scientists estimate that spending a day outside in these conditions is like smoking 50 cigarettes.
As a lung surgeon, when I open the chest, I see a normal pink lung these days.
On the ground, a layer of dust covers the entire city, and in the air, a thick layer of pollution hides landmarks that are easy to see the rest of the year. Delhi has always been a big, busy, polluted city, but in the last decade, something is making it even worse. In the last 10 years, Delhi's population has grown by more than 7 million people. Today, it's the second largest city in the world, and it's also among the most polluted. More people means more cars, spreading dust and exhaust into the air. As Delhi grows, there's also more construction, producing dust particles, and more industries contaminating the environment. All these things make the average air quality in Delhi unhealthy year-round. But something else is happening right here. When air pollution in Delhi spikes in October and November, it sends air pollution levels to 50 times what's considered safe.
Levels go haywire. Many of the machines are not made to measure the levels that we achieve.
The smog is so bad you can see it from space. But this cloud of pollution isn't actually coming from Delhi. It's coming from here. The states of Punjab and Haryana are known as India's breadbasket. They're a key region for the country's agriculture. Farmers here grow rice, and that requires large amounts of water. In the 2000s, rice farming here took off, and farmers in the area started using so much water that the region's groundwater started running low. So to save water, authorities passed a new act in 2009. It bans rice planting before mid-June. That means farmers can't plant rice until right before the monsoon season, when rains come to replenish the groundwater. That pushes rice harvesting later into the year, which means farmers have less time to get their fields ready for their next crop. So to clear the fields more quickly, more and more farmers have started setting their crop stubble on fire. Every year, all those stubble fires form a massive cloud of smoke during October and November, and it heads straight for Delhi. There are two reasons why smoke in this region makes things worse in Delhi. The first is geography. The Himalayan mountains act like a kind of barrier directing the smoke towards Delhi. The second is the weather. During the winter, cold mountain air rushes down from the Himalayas towards Delhi, arriving beneath a layer of warm lowland air that creates a kind of dome over the city. The warm air keeps pollution trapped on the ground with nowhere to go. So when the stubble fire smoke arrives in Delhi, it mixes with the urban pollution, forming a toxic smog that sits on top of the city. Mix all that together, and you have the most hazardous air pollution of almost anywhere. In November of 2019, India's Supreme Court ruled that states in the north had to stop farmers from burning their crop stubble. But
Hello, hello.
Yes, yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, is this slide visible?
Yes, sir.
So, friends, for the last 5 minutes, we are watching a video which will be given as a asynchronous material for them to enrich themselves in terms of air pollution. So, multiple of methods can be applied, can be sent to them as an individual learner to learn and get involved and get enriched for discussion in the classroom. That's the flipping. That's what is flipping all about. And you have seen that 5 minutes video talk about many things, about the pollution level, about the aerodynamics of air pollution, about the transboundary impact of or movement and impact of pollution from other states, Punjab and Haryana to Delhi, and why the winter time is most vulnerable in this regard. And also the impact of these toxic fumes on human health, as the lung surgeon has talk about. So in this way, from multiple angles, we can enrich the learner through asynchronous material. One such material I have shown to you. There may be various ways by which we can enrich the learner. So in the beginning, at the beginning, before we are not flipping, we are use this type of learning method, that is lecture based, where I am the prophet as a teacher and the students are there in front of us, engulfing those lectures and taking notes and get themselves prepared for the exam, which is mostly based on rote memorization. And now the situation is this, where the students are involved inside the classroom, and myself as a teacher, as a silent mentor, I am looking after the various activities of the students, individual and group activities, and if needed, I have to interfere the various activities to make the things more vibrant. And if the vibration is there, of course, we know that there will be active learning and that there will be retention of such learning. So friends, we can use this. I believe majority of us are using this also. The only problem is the time constraint. So at least we can think in advance and make some of the topics using this flip learning method. So here are some of the material which we can send in advance as asynchronous learning material. I've shown you these two YouTube video. I've also shown you one of the those two journals, publication from journals, medical journal, Lancet, maybe anything. It can be notes, it can be videos, it can be podcast, it can be your own curated or made resources. It can be some online discussion. It can be research and exploration, project-based things, anything we can send them as learning material to learn individually at home, to get themselves equipped with the topic, what will be discussed in class in the next day or in the next day. And these are the activities what we will actually perform in the class. Maybe some group activities, maybe some interactive sessions, maybe some differential instruction, even if it is needed, some personalized learning, some games, some group discussion, some role plays, many a thing we can do based on the on the learning that has been achieved through asynchronous material which was supplied to them beforehand. So here the class is now becoming a group space for various activities. And here again, a major hindrance to our Indian classroom, as each one of us are facing, is the stereotype seating arrangement. That is, of course, a difficulty. Space constraint and stereotype sitting arrangement will make this type of activities little bit difficult. That's why I've told you that I'm discussing that we have to make it beforehand, that some of the activities will go for this type of flip classing and before of class, and we will beforehand we can arrange certain minimum adaptation in those sitting arrangement in advance. We can based on the availability of space and time, but we have to make something so that it can be, the synchronous activities can be performed within the class, or even if situation permits, we can go outside the class also. So here you see that by flipping the class, we are reversing the Bloom's taxonomy. So remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating, all these are the Bloom's terminology. We are all aware of this. And usually, you see, before the class, we have sent them the asynchronized material through which they can remember and understand the topic in advance. And during the class, through various activities, this portion can be carried out. Or if not the whole, this application and analyzing of materials can be carried out within the class with a little bit of creation. Even not possible, we can go it for creation again at home. So that's the advantage. So here you see that you can see that as a group, we are knowing, comprehending, and applying. And as an individual at home, we are creating, evaluating, and analyzing in a normal situation. But while we talk about say here you see, we are applying, we are comprehending, and we are knowing. These three tiers are at home itself as an individual through using all those synchronous.
मीटिंग हम इसलिए अटेंड करते हैं कि हमें सर्टिफिकेट नहीं हमें इतनी आवर्स का सर्टिफिकेट देना पड़ता है.
Piyali ma'am.
By using those asynchronous material. And in-class activities, we are going for higher order skills, including analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Even high order thinking skills are being applied. And during these activities, these group activities, even the slow learners or the slow learners or late bloomers, in course of time will gradually be involved in this class, and they will also perform accordingly. So that's an advantage for the slow learners itself. So here we are spending more face-to-face time for creative activities in the classroom itself, group activities, and less time in lecturing, what we are usually doing in a lecture-based method. So that's flipping of classroom. Flip classroom is definitely an advantage for creative learning. So that's why time to time, at least once or twice a month, we can go for that. Despite I can very well understand the difficulty in completion of syllabus, yet we can think beforehand to do that. So these are some of the activities: role play, simulation, graphical presentation, storytelling, report writing, group activities, various activities for high order thinking skills, high order skills that can be performed through various group activities, and the teacher just act as a mentor, look after this as a scaffolder, and as and when required, he or she will be within the system to perform, to help the students, the learners. This is not restricted to only this few. There may be 100 more. We can use, we can modify, we can think and act accordingly. So active learning is going on while we do for that, because the groups, the class is now a situation for group activities where we are interacting with each other, with content, with teachers, with peers. And by such vigorous interaction, we are engaging ourselves within the with content and with various learning processes based on various learning styles. It may fit many of the learning styles you all know. And while we are performing various activities, many of the learning styles can be accommodated. And by doing that, we are in a collaborative mode to learn, share, and create. And by this, we are exploring a meaningful learning activities, and which will be having real life connection. So that's the advantage of a flipped classroom. So teaching learning practices are going on, and we have accessible, affordable, interactive resources, and the assessment can be, we can go for formative assessment even using AI tools, and the teacher can scaffold blended and personalized learning, and also thereby having his or her professional development opportunities are there. And by going through all these in an inclusive infrastructure, we are acting in a digital friendly mode within the physical environment. So this type of activities will definitely help the modern students, what we call the millennial students, who are born within 2002, who are even the most recent students, who are more digitally friendly than us. So these will have a different appeal for the digitally developed, skilled student community. So flipping will have various ways. This will, according to the need of the students, today's students, it can engage the students in various ways, this group activity. The struggling students, the underachievers, through these activities can get a benefit from all this. It can help various abilities, various skills to develop, increase the students-teacher interaction. Classroom management can be made more easier. Student-student interaction through peer utilization can be easier. So all these things are possible in a flipped classroom. So that is the advantage. Of course, there are certain myths. That means we may think that we are creating a 21st century classroom and pedagogy is in the back seat, but actually not. Pedagogy should always drive the technology. So pedagogy is the real master, but we are embracing the pedagogy with digital technology. Digital technology always doesn't mean very hi-fi technology. Even we can do it without cutting-edge technology. Teaching is much more difficult. Okay. So not only content delivery, there are many other aspects of teaching. And flipping of classroom will not undermine the teacher's role in a class. Rather, it will make more difficult. In that sense, that you have to be familiar. We all are familiar with the method of chalk and talk, but once we are engaging ourselves in flipped classroom, initial hiccups may be there, but in course of time, this will be the most easiest way of doing that, and with the students' benefit. So we have to plan beforehand, and for that we may have to record, because sometimes we have to give curated material, sometimes we have to make videos to substantiate your syllabus, your curriculum. There are various video making processes. Screencast is one such, we can do that. But we can use other appropriate videos from other sources which can be used. And we are sharing them, as I've shown you, as an asynchronous material. And they are preparing themselves at home individually, getting at their own pace of time. And in the classroom, they are performing group activities. And again, we can regroup themselves in various methods. So these are the things what we can do. And active learning processes within the class can be through various ways. It can be think, pair, share. It can be through case study analysis. It can be through project learning. It can be through collaborative note-taking. It can be through concept maps. It can be through jigsaw puzzles. All these are various ways by which a learner who is exposed to asynchronous material can involve in group activities
कैसे कहते हैं
inside the classroom.
इसका अलार्म बंद करो
So,
अलार्म बज रहा था
there can be peer instruction, collaborative learning, problem-based learning, game learning, group work, discussion. Many things can be given for them. So this way, we can improve our way of teaching learning, and the learners benefit. This active learning will definitely provides feedback about the students. Even the most slow learners will be exposed and gradually will be bring back to the normal fold. Students can know their own understanding, and gradually they can be able to be independent learner and can construct their own understanding. Collaborative learning, peer learning can give a new dimension of teaching learning, and passive students can also become active learners. So this is how we can help in this way. So you can see the Bloom's digital taxonomy in a revised way. So previously we talked about in remembering, we talk about recognizing, listening, describing, etc. But nowadays we talk about bullet pointing, highlighting, social networking, local bookmarking, searching, Googling, etc. Previously, the verbs for understanding were interpreting, summarizing, inferring, etc. Nowadays, we are going for advanced searches, blog journaling, twittering, etc. Running verbs in application, we go for today's, we are going for editing, hacking, etc. In analyzing, in a digital era, we are going for linking, tagging, validating, reverse engineering, etc. So in this way, we can even reverse in a digital Bloom's taxonomy. So I believe that this will definitely help us in this regard. So why not to try some of the activities in our classroom? If not, because we know the major point is time constraint, but yet we can do this. to a certain extent, at least in twice in a month, depending upon the syllabus, and can get benefit from this, and can also bring the slow learners in a it can also be an own automatic remedial for the slow learners. So that is one part. And another part is that since we are getting enough time, we are getting time for involving ourselves in the AI mode. So we must use this as a blessing.
है तो कॉटन वैसे
Use it as a blessing for our classroom teaching learning, especially this prompting, that is most important. Shall I be given 5 minutes more, or we have to round it up?
Of course, sir, you can have.
Okay, so without dilly-dallying, is it visible?
No, sir, not yet.
Now it is visible.
Yes, sir. Now it is.
So I'm skipping the main things. We may have a different session altogether in a different day. I'm just going for. So this is the area we should concentrate on our role as a teacher in AI, introducing AI in our classroom, this prompting. That means introducing the question with a prompt, then give it as a role or a voice, should give explicit instruction and set the parameters for the answer. Say, for example, this is what I can say. You know, many of us are using ChatGPT or other AI tools or AI applications, and be little bit elaborate in that, in writing. That prompting is very important. You can get everything. Say, here you see, I want to write a biography on Edgar Allan Poe. Instead of that, say we want to write based on this particular topic. Say we want to write a paragraph on, say, air pollution in Delhi. So if you write in this one line in ChatGPT, they will give you answer. But as a teacher, we have to follow all these steps. Say you are telling, write in two pages the current scenario of air pollution in Delhi. Add this, your role, considering yourself as a environmental scientist. Here you have written that 2 pages for class 12. For class 12. Here you are writing as an environmental scientist. Further, you have added that in the write-up, we must write about the source, the impact of air pollutants, type of air pollutants, as well as the seasonality of air pollutants. That means you are specifying these things, expliciting. And finally, you are writing the parameters that limit your write-up in 2 pages. So here you see, in one line, I can ask ChatGPT or other tools to write an essay on air pollution in Delhi. But when you are talking about give an write-up on air pollution in Delhi as an environmental scientist, including type of pollutants, seasonality, health impact, and control measure, that means you are specifying this explicitly and limit your response within 2 pages. That can give you a better result. Even if you mention that write it for bright learners, it will give you one type of write-up. And if you say write it for average student, it will give you another type of write-up. You can modify this also. So that's the beauty, that's the advantage. So this is again important. Evaluate, determine the accuracy. That is most important. What is given in the ChatGPT, you must, as a teacher, as an expert, you should determine the accuracy. There may be sometimes biases, political, geopolitical biases or misinformation that needs to be identified and corrected. And finally, material should be placed to our students. So these two things, the edit framework and the prep framework, is the sole thing, most important thing, what we can do for carrying out, introducing AI in our classroom. So I believe there is less time for doing that. We can have a AI session another day. Now, this may be open to discussion. I believe I can give certain concepts on this. So over to you, madam, for further discussion.
Thank you.
AI itself need a whole session, and it's most interesting.
I agree, sir, definitely. So this was a very wonderful and insightful session. And sir, you have very truly said that teachers are no longer those know-all individuals standing on a pedestal. The role has completely changed, and they are more like facilitators rather than that. And also how you have told us that how technology should be flipped with the old traditional lecture method. Of course, because we are teaching millennials, that's the time. We all need to be flexible and we all need to change. So thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session. Dr. Sharma, if sir has any insights or any viewpoints to share. Sir,
thank you, Dr. Mazumdar. You have beautifully explained about the digital literacy, especially you have taken the flipped classroom. And it is a concept that the teacher can take in the classroom and children can take at their home. Very interesting concept. And it's very good that you have explained all this in detail. About the AI, actually, this is a very long topic. Digital literacy and technological integration. It is a long topic. You cannot take it in one go. But still, we'll take some other time for AI, because in the AI also we have very interesting ChatGPT, we have Gemini, we have Copilot, we have Cloud, we have many apps that we can use, and that too free, and we can develop our lesson plan, we can develop our other things. Even we can develop a PowerPoint presentation if urgently it is required by using these apps. So thank you very much, Dr. Mazumdar.
Yes, sir.
Over to you, Deepali.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your insights and your support. We would conclude our very insightful session by a formal vote of thanks. And for that, I would like to invite Ma'am Deepali Agarwal.
Namaskar, everyone. It is indeed a privilege to extend a heartful vote of thanks on behalf of all the participants of today's enlightening session. First and foremost, I wish to express our profound gratitude to our esteemed patron, Dr. Anil Sharma sir, for his unwavering commitment to our continuous development. Your vision and leadership have been the driving force behind these workshops, and your presence enriches every session with wisdom and direction. Thank you for creating such valuable opportunities for all of us to grow and succeed. Furthermore, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Sabyasachi Mazumdar, for delivering such an insightful session on digital literacy and technology integration. Your expertise has not only deepened our understanding of the vital role and also, the vital role technology plays in the education, but also provided us with the practical strategies to seamlessly integrate digital tools into our teaching practices. Using flipped classroom, synchronous and asynchronous learning activities will definitely help students and we all teachers also. Your thoughtful presentation has truly empowered us as a means to enhance learning outcomes for our students, especially as we navigate the challenges of educating a generation emerging in this digital world. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time and dedication to our professional growth. Lastly, I would like to thank all the participants for their contributions during the session. As we conclude this session, let's carry forward the knowledge and skills we have gained today and continue to work together to integrate technology effectively in our classroom. Thank you and wishing you a very good day.
Thank you, Dipali ma'am. Before we move on, I regret to inform you that I have some bad news to share. It is with a very heavy heart that I share this sad news of passing of Mr. Simrat Singh Gill, a beloved teacher at Bhavans Vidyalaya, New Chandigarh. So let us all join together in solidarity to honor his memory and pray for his union with the Almighty. We will now have Shanti Path to send our thoughts and prayers to the departed soul and to support the bereaved family during this difficult time.
Om Shantirantariksha Shanti Prithvi Shantirapah Shantiroshadaya Shanti Vanaspatah Shantirvishve Devah Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvam Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantirevi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
With this thought that his soul should rest in peace, we would like to conclude this session. I must remind you that the attendance link is now available in the chat box.